Ba 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 da 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 da.
Sports
Ba ba bam 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 bam.
highlights,
Ba ba bam 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 bam.
insights,
Ba ba dam bam 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 bam.
tips.
Ba ba bam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is your host Casey Chubsy with you as always, and the Grim Reaper himself, here to kill your wallets, here to put a knife into the back of your bank accounts. Formerly the amateur gambler, now he's just like, what would you call, like, are you Vegas's best friend? Is that what they call you? You're Vegas's best buddy?
Casey, I'm seeing the board, buddy. Loser, loser, loser. I mean, if you're fading me, you got to be fading me at this point.
What do they
Have
say?
to be.
What do they say about the SATs? It's actually more impressive to get a 0 on the SATs because that means you knew all the answers and you got them all wrong on purpose. You knew all the
Casey,
right picks last week. You wanted to prove that you have no like ego. You wanted to prove like you're okay with going 1-6.
100% case. That one winner was a big winner, though. Kansas City
Yeah, you said you're gonna put a couple units on that too.
could be.
I imagine you were maybe a little bit on tilt there.
Oh, case, buddy. First time I've ever hit a first TD score, too. Felt great. Travis Kelsey helping out the boys. Doesn't help for the show, though, buddy. Doesn't help at all. I'm the Grim Reaper.
What
And
were
I think I
the
got some losers this week, Casey.
Yeah,
I
do
think I
you?
got some losers for the folks.
All right, all right. Here to Stu Feiner kills your bookmaker. Manny kills your wallet, kills your bank account. Kill maybe kills your kids because you won't have any money to buy food to feed them.
Facts.
Facts, straight facts. Okay, let's get into the first game. First game I put on the slate. It's our biggest spread of the season. I had to throw it out there. We've got your Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are at minus 14. That's 2 touchdowns. Minus 14. Over under is 47 and a half. I'm going to let you take this one first. Kenny Pickett, you said last week, you're so off right now that like even your I don't think so Kenny Pickett's were bad. So how do you feel about him? I take it if I know you at all, you're all in on him.
Casey, last week I literally said I had Mitch written in my street. I went outside this morning. It's spray painted over.
Yep.
That's now Pickett Street, buddy. Unbelievable. How wrong could I possibly be on a single pick in so many different facets?
I mean,
Hey,
he threw 3 interceptions, but he was fun. He was a lot of fun. He was so much fun.
Casey, not one of those interceptions was his fault.
They were
End of the game interception, Deontay Johnson interception, and
the
was
first
it George
one.
Pickens?
No, so the very first one is when he chucked it deep and that guy like jumped it. That's it. But that was he just got into the game. That's a good pick. Cause also he like pinned them down at the 5-yard line. If you remember, I was like, all right, that's a good first pick. Get it out of your system. You're throwing the ball deep. You're warming the arm up a little bit. That was a good pick. I agree with you. 3 picks, but all 3 picks were like good picks.
Yeah, not his fault. The other thing too, people were forgetting already. 2 rushing touchdowns, Case.
I don't think
This
people
guy
are
might
forgetting.
be the real deal. He's an exact mirror image of Daniel Jones so far. And what Daniel Jones is putting out this year, you can't go against that.
I think
But listen,
that's a big insult to Kenny Pickett's swag to say that he's a mirror image of Daniel Jones. Kenny Pickett looks like he should be doing it at least.
facts. Casey,
Yep.
AFC South always got disrespected with these double-digit points. I've never seen it in the AFC North. Even when the Browns were that bad, they were never 14-point dogs. Vegas is just trying to rub our face in the mud, buddy. And that's why I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Jets are bad. The Jets are bad. That was a bad loss. Matt Canada, he's calling the offense a little different from Pickett. People were picked up a little bit. The O-line actually blocked for once. It's like we might have a little spark here in Pittsburgh. I would potentially take Money line too. I don't know if we're forgetting so
Oh
soon.
my God.
Last year, Bills were supposed to blow out the Steelers week 1. What happened? Steelers money line came right out of it. I think they were 7.5-point favorites in that game. Just double it down. Vegas is trying to give you free money here. Take the Steelers, take the points.
Buddy,
Sprinkle the money.
I have no reasons as to why I have to take the Bills here. Biggest line of the season so far. I feel like Vegas is daring me to take the Bills here. -14, rookie quarterback. You're coming into Buffalo. You're traveling. You're on the road. I don't know what you saw in that game last week, but I think the Steelers got worse when Kenny Pickett came into the game.
Casey, it was a spark, buddy. You could see it. Pittsburgh was going nuts. Those guys with the signs holding up. Put in Pickett. He's in, baby.
They picked off Lamar Jackson a bunch of times. That Bills defense, pretty good. Bills, rough couple of games, last couple of games. I think this is a get-right spot for them. I think they win big here at home. Get right on the season. They're going to go 13-2. Oh, math doesn't work. They're going to go 15-2, maybe 14-3, something like that. So this is a get-right spot for them. Can't believe I'm saying it. 14 points in the NFL is crazy. 14 points with the Steelers is even crazier. I have a feeling the public's going to be all over the Steelers here. I'm going to take the Bills. Have to take the Bills and Josh Allen.
Casey, last point. Remember when the Bills were 14-point favorites against the Jaguars last year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They lost outright. That's true.
The Grim Reaper's coming for them.
They were on the road, though. They had to play in Jacksonville. That's different. Everybody knows that stadium's impossible to play in. So loud.
Casey, Pittsburgh is basically Canada. For the amount of snow we get, I hope it snows in Buffalo on Sunday. Help the boys out a little bit, both sides of the ball.
That's going to be a gross game. I think the Bills might wash them. A rout for the Bills.
Case, the next 4 games for the Steelers, you can cut this part out too. We play the Bills, the Dolphins, the Bucks, and the Eagles.
Yikes.
Not in that order.
Oh. Still, but the next 4. They're the next 4.
The next 4.
In a row.
We're coming knocking on every door, buddy.
Maybe that's why you waited till now to put Kenny Pickett in, because then he can go 0-4, but it's an expected 0-4.
Yeah,
that actually makes sense now. Yeah,
Yeah.
150 is low, maybe.
Yeah. With a great Bills defense, great Bucks defense. Let them get sacked.
What did we say about Jameis's ball last week? Catchable. I think Kenny Pickett at one point, somebody was like, Kenny Pickett is 13 for 13. Did he end the game? I think, yeah. He ended the game with 0 incomplete passes, but 3 of his passes were completed to the other team. Fun stat. Love fun stats. Next one. I'm going to take a little bragging rights here on this one. We are going to talk about right now the Atlanta Falcons heading into Tampa Bay, taking on the Bucks. The Bucks are -8 here. Over-unders at 48.5. That feels high to me. My Atlanta Falcons, 4-0 against the spread. I have been on them every single week since week 1. You know there is no doubt I am taking them again here. I'm sprinkling money line here. I think Marcus Mariota's getting his mojo back. I don't think it matters that Cordarrelle Patterson is out now. I think any running back they throw back there. Arthur Smith on Sunday ran the ball, Manny, 14 plays in a row. 14 straight plays he ran the ball, just left side, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side. The Bucs have a very good run defense, so that scares me. But I think that this Falcons team is frisky. I think they are. I think this is a team the Bucs sleepwalk through, and +8 is too many points. I already put this wager in because I'm worried the line's going to go the other way the closer we get to the game. +8, double units, Falcons all day. 4-0 against the spread, 5-0 against the spread coming up. Let's go, Falcons. Rise up.
Casey, I couldn't agree more, and I was hoping you were going to bring up that run defense too. Little bit worrisome on that end of it. Listen, once that run game kind of gets depleted by the Bucks, throw the gosh dang ball to Kyle Pitts again, Casey. Throw the ball to him.
Why do you want? Do you have
Ornella.
him on your? You have him on your fantasy team, don't you?
No, I don't. I
Why?
don't.
Why are you such like? You are
I'm a
the biggest Kyle Pitts fan of all time. They won the football game. They won the football game.
Casey. I
You're
just
talking.
have such high hopes for him.
You're talking about
I,
stats.
I
You're
want to
talking
get
about
another tight end
stats.
in there so we can start. I want to get another tight end in there, Case. We can start praising him. I don't want to keep having same conversation every week, dude. Kelsey's the best tight end. Waller's the best tight end.
What's
We
with
need
this?
Kyle Pitts to step it up.
What's with his passion for tight ends? Have you always been a big tight end lover and I just never knew about it? Oh,
Heath Miller.
you love a nice tight end, don't you?
Heath
You
Miller,
freak.
Pat Fryermuth, Jesse James. Tight end position, when they're able to go out and catch the ball, or even be like a McDonald, nice and stat. Block the line a little bit. Gosh, dang, Casey.
Pittsburgh accent slip there. Nice and stat.
Yeah, I do love the position. I do love the Falcons. I do love Kyle Pitts. I like the points. Give me the points in the Falcons.
Can I be honest? You getting on the Falcons now for how much you've disrespected them so far this season actually makes me really worried about this pick.
It's Marcus Mariota.
There it is. That's all we needed to hear. All right, next game. Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. The Jets are 3.5-point dogs at home. Over under is 44.5. I will go first here. The Dolphins minus 3.5. I have this new thing that I'm looking into. All right, hear me out. I know we're not big stats guys, but I've been getting into the strategy behind betting a little bit. Been getting into why you bet on certain things, what certain trends will tell you about certain things. And there's a big trend here that I saw, which is line movement from before the game that they played last week. So the Dolphins were favored here by 7 points before last week's game. The Jets won the game, and that now moved down to 3.5. I don't know if a last-second field goal win against the Steelers is worth that many points to me. I like the Dolphins minus 3.5 here. Teddy Bridgewater. This is on top of everything I just told you. Teddy Bridgewater, do you know what his nickname is? Spready Bridgewater, because he is a spread covering machine. 67% against the spread in his career. And here's a crazy one. On the road, 80% against the spread in his career. 30 games. That's not like a small sample size. 30 games on the road, 80% against the spread. He's spready Bridgewater, baby. So Dolphins all the way. Dolphins minus 3.5 might be my best bet of the week, honestly.
Casey, you almost flipped me there.
No, you're not going to do it.
Casey, this Jets team is not as bad as we think. I gave them the old eyeball test. They got a run game that's competent. I don't think the Teddy Bridgewater Tua is that big of a downgrade. Although that Jets, I can't even believe I'm saying this. I'm taking the Jets plus 3.5. Everything you said was correct. Everything that I'm about to say is completely false and made up. But something in my gut tells me to take the points. I'm the Grim Reaper. You got to fade me as much as you possibly can. If you have a half of a brain, pick Casey this week with this pick. Kind of like the Jetsies.
I think you're buying them too high right now. Everybody loves the Jets right now. Everybody thinks Zach Wilson's the man. Is Zach Wilson really that good? Are you all in on Zach Wilson now?
I like the highest paid defense in the league, the Steelers. One of the best defenses in the league, the Steelers. Maybe they're not that good, but they got cut up.
He did
They
well.
got cut up.
He did well. And he grittied. How'd you like his gritty? Do you have a gritty in you?
I don't have one, Case. Not in my repertoire, buddy.
You can't gritty for me right now?
I got the Booze Cruise. I got the wiggly arms. I got it all. Don't have a gritty in me.
You don't have a gritty? What's the wiggly arms?
Woo!
Cowboys at Rams, America's game of the week. Rams are -4. Over-unders at 45.5. Who do you like here?
Casey, I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys. Poopy rush. With Dak Prescott kind of lurking around, he might be coming back soon. I think Cooper Rush is going to maintain this starting spot.
Maybe
even when Dak comes back, you got to ride the hot hand, right, Case?
Is Dak back maybe this week? I think that might be rumors.
It's gonna be more towards a game time decision, I believe, right?
I think so. So my question is, I don't think they will play Cooper Rush still, will they? What do you think?
If you got to ride the hot hand, Casey.
If you're Mike McCarthy, you keep Poopy Rush in?
Got to. Especially against this Rams team.
Too good?
I think the Rams are... You think they're good?
Well, up front, I mean, their D-line's pretty good.
Looks like they just got completely exposed the other day against the 49ers. I think the Cowboys can do the exact same thing. Tony Pollard, left, right. Zeke right up the gut. I like that offense. And that's just the average offense compared to their unbelievable defense that they've been playing this year. Micah Parsons, Dexter Lawrence, those guys are getting home, Case. Those guys that remind me of TJ Watt being in the backfield half the freaking game.
Yeah.
I like them.
They're very good. I think that if Dak plays here, it's worse for the Cowboys, and it's a worse bet on the Cowboys.
100%.
So that's my nerves here are that if Dak is going to play, I'd prefer to take the Rams. I think Dak is just not as good as Cooper Rush. He's just not as good of a quarterback.
Factual.
So I'm going to do this for the first time in the history of our show. If Dak Prescott plays, I'm taking the Rams -4. If Cooper Rush plays, I'm taking the Cowboys +4.
That's fair. You don't think the line would have changed? I think it's too early, Case.
I think the line is moving towards the Cowboys because people think Dak's going to play. And those dumb, idiot, not professional smart bettors out there like you and I think that Dak Prescott's better than Cooper Rush because they're a bunch of idiots.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Jerry Jones, wake up, pal.
What are you doing, Jerry?
Wake up, buddy. Cooper Rush is 4-0.
He's 5-0 in his career.
5-0 in his career.
No, 4-0. 4-0.
Yeah.
You lose track of the weeks. I was like, he went to 3-0 against the Cowboys. Nope. Yeah. You're right. God, I really hope Dak doesn't play because I would like the Cowboys so much if Dak doesn't play. Cowboys should be favored. If Cooper Rush is playing, the Cowboys should be favored here. No joke. Okay, they're really, really good with Cooper Rush. Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are +5.5 point dogs at home. Over-unders at 49.5 points. I will go first here. I know who you're taking because you slipped up earlier in the show, and I could not disagree more. The Eagles are that fucking good. They are that team this year. They are the team that's going to be sitting there at 10-0, 11-0, and we're like, holy shit, these Philadelphia Eagles might be one of the best teams of all time. Conversely, the Cardinals are that bad. They are very bad. They should not be 2-2. They were not in any point really in control, it felt like, of that game against the Panthers. And the Panthers are bad. And they shouldn't have beat the Raiders at all. And the Raiders aren't that great. The Cardinals are just a bad team. They're poorly coached. Kyler Murray is the only good player on the entire team until DeAndre Hopkins gets back. So 5.5 is far too low. Far too low. This should be at least a touchdown, if not more. So, my little calculator up in my head tells me that. One more thing I need to touch on. I am going to make this like a super play on the Eagles here because of one thing I saw this weekend. I am proud of my guy, Doug Peterson. I'm proud of my Jacksonville Jaguars. They went in there. They put up a good fight. It was slippy out. A couple fumbles by the QB there. Not to worry about it. And all round of applause. Nothing but class out of the city of Philadelphia, per usual. giving Doug Peterson a standing ovation. Players on the team giving him big hugs. Jason Kelsey did the jersey coat swap with him. Shout out to Philly. Gave that man some respect that he deserves. I forgot he's got a statue out front of that stadium. Shout out to Philadelphia and Eagles fans. Eagles -5.5 this week. Karma play, super unit play. Eagles deserve this one because of how they treated Doug Peterson last week.
Casey, the Eagles fans are the biggest scumbags in the entire world. I don't know if you just completely forgot about that for a second.
Shit, I did forget about that.
And with that being said, I like Kyler Murray. Listen, that Cardinals defense does not give up rushing yards to the quarterback. They're the lowest in the NFL currently for this year. They don't give up rushing yards. Jalen Hurts likes to use his feet as well as his arm, but his feet is going to be shut down by that Arizona defense. And that's a long plane travel for them. They got to fly from Philadelphia all the way out, and you're getting 5.5 points for it. Kyler Murray's about to be on his own video game mode, dude. I think he's going to start to get that offense sparked. They did score a lot of points, Casey, against the Carolina Panthers. 22, I believe. And they had some additional red zone opportunities that were dropped down. I like the Arizona Cardinals in this spot. I think people were just a little wee bit too high on those Philadelphia Eagles, sir.
You know, I would say the same thing about the Eagles because people are, but Vegas isn't. 5.5 is not that many points. Dude, do I need to remind you of our first game on the slate where your Steelers are underdogs by 14 points?
Casey, the Cardinals are they're not as bad as the Steelers are. The Cardinals, in my eyes, are still a playoff team.
I also have some pro time zone advice for you here. Going to Arizona this time of year, did you know Arizona only adjusts time zones? They don't do daylight savings time. Did you know that about Arizona?
No idea. I thought that was like a national thing.
So Arizona refuses to do daylight savings time because they say they get too much daylight as it is. It's too hot there. So for half the year, they are 1 hour behind. They're technically in the mountain time zone, but because they don't adjust for half the year, they are on the same time as California and Oregon and Washington. And then the other half the year, they're on the same time as the Utah, Colorado, all those. This point in the year, they are on California time zone. So this is basically the same thing as traveling all the way west. You're going 3 hours back, not 2 hours.
Casey, I don't understand time zones at all, so I appreciate the little history lesson there.
Yeah, you're welcome. Last game of the week, Sunday Night Football. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are -3 point favorites here. The over-unders at 48.5. These are your two favorite teams in the NFL here, so I imagine you are very confused and you're not sure what to do. So I'd like to hear from you first.
Casey, I took the points in every single game so far this week, and I was about just to check that last box again, try to get some free points. Dogs and points. That's what we're looking for this week to get back Grim Reaper style. With that being said, you just cannot bet against this Ravens team, dude. I just can't do it. I just think they're so talented top to bottom. J.K. Dobbins being back too. Finally get a little bit more of that running game established. They're going to be able to actually close out games, keep the clock running at the end as they're blowing out the Cincinnati Bengals. I know I've been talking the Bengals up. They're kind of trash, dude. The Bengals are kind of trash. Next week, I'll come back and say the exact opposite thing is what I just said, but the Bengals are trash. And that's why I'm taking the Ravens -3 at home. Like you mentioned, spotlight's going to be on. Lamar's going to show out why he deserves all that money. And they're going to get him a contract extension as soon as this game's over.
I struggled with this game the most. This was my biggest game on the card that I just could not figure out this week. I am going to take, for the sake of giving you a chance to catch up to me this season, I'm going to take the Bengals here. I'm doing you a favor. I like the Bengals with the points. I think this Ravens defense, It's not the Ravens defense that you and I grew up on. There's no Ray Lewis there anymore. There's no Ed Reed there anymore. There's no Jimmy Smith there anymore, if you know that guy's name. Pittsburgh Panther, Jimmy Smith, actually. There's no strong defense there in Baltimore anymore. The Cincinnati Bengals have arguably the three best wide receivers. The Cincinnati Bengals have arguably the best wide receiving core, top to bottom, in the NFL. And I think they're going to be able to throw all over the Ravens. And I like them to cover 3 here. I like 3 points in that division is too many, even if the teams weren't as evenly matched as they are. I'm surprised this isn't more like 2.5, 1.5 points. I'm taking the Bengals with the points.
Casey, Jamar Chase hasn't done anything this year. I'm not a stat guy. I'm not an individual stat guy. I'm a team guy, but Jamar Chase, not that good this year.
Jamar Chase maybe getting a bunch of double teams and triple teams so that way the other guys can get open.
Fair.
Also, that win against the Miami Dolphins, they're a good football team. Let's not forget that. The Bengals, they get a long week here to recover, and Baltimore's not a long way to travel. It's in the division. They're going to be fired up. And that Cincinnati Bengals defensive line, they're frisky. They're going to Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, beat my guy, BJ Hill, BJ Hill, former New York Giant. They've got a frisky defensive line there. So don't count these Cincinnati Bengals out.
Casey, I'm making the Ravens my best bet of the week, my lock of the week.
Wow.
Just convince me.
Boy. Okay.
Convince me. How happy you are about you.
And you know what? Me. You know what you just convinced me to do? I'm making the Cincinnati Bengals my best bet.
We got a lock off.
We got a lock off on our hands. Bengals +3 versus Ravens -3. I think we should start a costume game. One game every week that we're opposite on. And whoever wins the game the previous week can choose the game that we are opposite on. But then it's a costume game. And then the next week, I will buy a costume and have it shipped to the person's house who has to wear it.
That's fair.
Costume game this week. Next week, I'm not going to say what the costume is yet. You're just going to show up on camera wearing it. What's the costume game this week? Should we make it our lock-off?
Lock-off has to be.
Fuck yeah.
Never been more confident in something in my entire life.
I'm going to make you look like a fucking clown next week. All right. Good luck this week, buddy.
Peace. Thanks, Casey.